Yeah. I should have set up the lights ahead of time, but whatever. Oh, wow, that's bright. There we go. All right, I've been live a minute. Yeah, two people coming in. What's up? Welcome in, anybody that's coming in. Um, just want to talk about a few things going on in the community, and do do a weekly live show. So, today's focus is we're gonna be caught through fantasy. What is Norse paganism? What is heathenry? What is improving your life through using the Norse pagan spiritual path, right? Um, I think, real struggles that are going on for people. We got we got cuts to government programs. This social experiment that was just done on TikTok where all these churches this woman freaking, she called up wanting help for baby formula, and none of them, nobody was able to help 30 something churches. What else? And like I said, I need to discuss some of the things going on myself. As far as, I feel like I haven't been in the gym, and I feel like I'm slacking. I feel like I'm slacking with my social media channels, and I'm not being happy enough where you are in life, and, just keep working. How do you keep the fire going on inside? Well, welcome in. What's going on? Why do I not see any chat? Yeah, I want to stay live. I didn't want to do that at all. I don't see any chat. Normally there's like a box on the bottom. Is there something weird going on? Oh, it's here. Okay. All right, cool. I don't really go live on YouTube very much. What do you got? Using that as open access. What do you want me to know about it? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw this, the social experiment that this girl Nikolai did on TikTok, where she called up. She played a recording of a child hungry, and she made phone calls to different religious organizations and to different community organizations. She ended up calling like 30 Christian churches, and she called 33, and only three people offered to help. One was a woman offering out of her own pocket. Another one was someone that was basically another person offering out of her own pocket. And the third one was a mosque that offered to help, like no questions asked. They were like, "What formula baby food?" And I don't really want to like sit here and crap on their faith and their organization. I want to kind of use that as a teaching moment, like for anybody that's in life at all. Um, life is a struggle, and a lot of people seem to be apathetic to others. And in this day and age right now, I think we need to embrace being more loving towards each other, and embrace each other's differences instead of using them to divide. I love learning about other cultures. Personally myself, I love eating food and learning and hearing the languages and hearing music of different cultures. It just, I don't know. It speaks to my soul in a way that I don't think it speaks to my soul in a very primal and primitive way. But seeing this, just the apathy that's been going on with things, people making fun of people not being able to get their benefits. Do I understand that some people scam the system? Yeah, but I really don't care how many people are scamming the system as long as one kid ain't going hungry. That's really what that's how I look at it. And hi, Zia, how are you? Welcome in. That's how I look at it. So my day has been very good. Um, so I know a lot of people. I know, I'm known for paganism and educating people in Norse pagan spirituality, and um, like in our community, just in your community at all. It doesn't matter what religion you are. Just take care of each other a little more right now. Like we all need, offer people a hug, offer people, eat with somebody. Times are going to be hard. I don't care what they're telling you on the news. I personally see that the economy is, my money is not going anywhere near where it used to be. Like I, stopped in Wawa the other day. I spent like $30 on like soda, candy, and a pack of cigarettes. Like that's insanity. That's insanity. Things that it really was, and it's not going to be an easy time right now. So, what else? I got this really cool axe. If you guys, for fact, I mean, that's not. I would definitely follow you for more life advice. Seeing that one. Um, Skull or your father's the same kind. Oh, yeah, exactly. Don't just be I don't care what religion you are, just be a better person. I wanted to show y'all this. So this guy reached out to me from Skull Mountain Knives. And he asked me if I wanted an axe, like these custom designs that he does. And of course I said yes, and he sent it to me. But I just wanted to show it off. I told him I'd show it on one live stream. He didn't even ask me to do this. I just thought it was so nice. So if you're in the market for a nice, this is actually a weapon. This is a working tool right here. Like this will chop wood. Check them out. Skull Mountain Knives. They hooked me up, and I just wanted to give them a shout out. They didn't ask me to do this during a live stream. I just said I would, and that was because they were really cool about it. So if you're looking for anything like that, they have a real large assortment, and it's really quality craftsmanship in my opinion. What else? Modern Heathen. I got my notes for today. Oh yeah, Peyton Parrish, the whole bullshit with him. Listen, I don't know who the hell didn't needed to know that kid was a Christian the whole freaking time. Like he was never a heathen. Like, and not for nothing, his music's cringe. I find it extremely cringe. I'm doing a video on that. I had a whole video on the pagan threat and the bulk and what they're doing. This satanic panic that they're doing. The file footage got corrupted, and I really want to address the issue. So I'm finishing that. That'll be this Wednesday. I missed 2 weeks of uploads, and that's my own personal accountability. I actually just I had technical difficulties, and then I just didn't work hard enough to correct those technical difficulties. I just was like, man, screw this right now. I really don't feel like doing it. No, it's full. Okay. Only one person I know would say that, and I don't think you're him. Unless you are Kieran, nah, you wouldn't have Jeremiah. Yeah, pin that one up there. Yeah, so like I don't know who didn't know that kid wasn't Norse pagan, but his whole they're drinking blood and eating babies, like, bro, we're not doing communion on Sunday in the Catholic Church, like that's what y'all do, but it's just he's just grifting. He's just going for another grift. He's going for the hardcore now Christian audience because somebody probably had said something to him. There's a lot more money. You're doing this whole Viking music. There's a lot more money in Christian music. You know what I mean? So like finally clicked in his head. And he has, again, the music's cheesy. His moves are cheesy. So that same freaking move, like not even good boy band dance moves. It's like terrible boy band dance moves. It's like as if, it's almost as if like Saturday Night Live was doing a skit on Viking boy bands. Like that's really how I feel when I see like, you know, his videos, which is fucked up because David Christensen's in a few of his videos, and he's a friend of mine, and like, I still like break his balls on it. You know, it just is what it is. Yeah, Vera said hi. Hi, how are you? Do I have to unpin that, or is this like, oh yeah, see, I gotta unpin it. All right, a little more work and moderation over on the YouTube platform than it is on TikTok. Yeah. Also, when you are searching out like information on Norse paganism, and you're searching out, you know, info on this pet, see who's performance. Like performance is performance. Like you can tell the difference between somebody that's authentically doing this path or somebody that's performing on this path, and you know, or authentically walking this, or you know, I don't use the words fake or real, like, because if you say like, hey, this is the path that I walk, like it's real, like that's it's genuine to me. Are you walking it authentically? That's the way that, you know, I look at it, and that's why like I've tried to shift my content more towards like doable actions on the pad and less of like lecturing. You know, like the content, most of the content out on Norse paganism that's on any one of the platforms is 9 times out of 10 it's lecturing, it's, you know, or telling the stories, or like, that's why I want to do like my content. I want to do actions that are actually doable. What can you, you know, what project can you do? How can you, you know, how can you use something as normal and every day as cooking and use that as a way of honoring your spirituality and honoring the path that you're walking? As simple things as simple as cleaning. How do you tie all together? You know, how do you tie these things together, and how do you do a modern ritual that's authentic to what, you know, to authentic to the path, where like, you know, you're using the label Norse paganism. Is it, it's a reconstructed spirituality, right? Are you doing this as genuinely and authentic to the ancients as you possibly can? Are you doing your research? Are you creating your own path through this? Are you, you know, that's what because that's what this is really about. It's really about navigating your spirituality, understanding that you don't need an intermediary. You don't need somebody to relay the message for you to the divine. And that's the biggest lesson I hope I inspire into anybody that watches any of my content. Is you don't need a middleman. You don't need a messenger. There's no intermediaries. You know, so anybody, well, there's only 2 of you in the audience. Does anybody have any questions? Nope. Okay, cool. Yeah. And like being a heathen in 2025, it's not about like, it's not about the axe, it's not about the Mjolnir on your neck, it's not about the jewelry, the rings on your fingers, it's not about any of that. It's about being present, being accountable, you know, taking responsibility for your actions and for things you've done. Hey, bud. It's about loving nature, loving puppies. Come on. Come on. You want to be on camera? I know you want to be on camera. You haven't been on a live stream in a while. Come on, bud. Come on. You're probably getting more viewers. Come on, get up here. Come on. Come on. What is wrong with you, you little chicken? Come on. Come on. Why are you crawling up like a little nut? You're like a little nut crawling up on me. You're like a little nut. This is Rocky. Anybody that doesn't know my dog. This is my Rocky, my little French bulldog. And your little love bug. What else? Yeah, I'm what are you doing, dude? He's demanding belly rubs right now. That's it. He just wants belly rubs. I can't, there's nothing I could do That's gonna stop him. He's gonna look. He's bullying me into belly rubbing. Look, look. He's bullying me. Look. Ooh. Listen to him. Listen to him. All right. What are you doing? You getting your belly rubbed? Look, gosh, don't bully me. He's biting. I'm. Ow, you're. Yeah, he's my cute little co-host. Got some advice on how to face challenges in life. Face it head on. What's up, Patty boy? I'm from Powell Parkway. I grew up right next to you, from Morris Park to Bronx. I grew up in Powell Parkway to Bronx. Lighting and Bones. What was that? Somebody sent me a thing. Yeah, so how to face adversity in life head on. Head on. If anything, if something is a problem in your life, tackle it. Like this dog's a problem. You're not Pat that I know, right? Brother Chris. Pretty sure you said that right out the gate. Well, it's like, yeah, any kind of adversity in life, tackle it head on. The only way to improve your life, the only way to get through anything is identify what the problem is and then tackle that problem head on and go at it. You're from Lighting and Bones? How old are you, Patty? You gotta know who I am. If you're from Lighting and Bones. That's where I grew up. Standing on the corner, leaning on Secret's mural. That's where I grew up. Do I know you? Do you know who I am? Because the Patty I know, Patty boy I know is older. But you grew up on the same street as me. I'd have to see your face in order to know who it is. You know Patty's brother Chris. I don't want to say their last name. I'm not giving somebody's government out on a live stream. But you know Patty's brother Chris. They got an older brother Nicky. 3 brothers. They're from Leidick and Mulliner. No, Leidick and Mulliner. Leidick and Bolton. They're from Leidick and Bolton. They grew up in the courtyard right on that comes out on Leidick. Oh, I didn't go to Columbus. That's why. I went to Bronx Science. Yeah, I didn't go to Columbus. But I know everybody that did go to Columbus. Everybody that was from Leidick, I know from, that went to Columbus. But I went to the Bronx High School Science. So, yeah, I gotta know you. I lived on Leidick and Bones from 1975 to 1991. And my mother lived there till 1995. And I came around the neighborhood right till like every week till like 2000. Me, I got 2 brothers, Joey and Eric. My mother's Kathy. Yeah, that's where the 3 brothers are from past White Plains, the block right past White Plains. They grew up in that corridor. The Patty boy I know. My mother's Kathy. We lived on the first floor, 2164. My brothers are Joey and Eric. My brothers are Joey and Eric. They're still alive. I rode a skateboard everywhere. I used to work for John and Joe's skateboarding with pizzas. I'd be flying down Leidick Avenue with 3 pies, large pies in my hand. What's up, Ryan? Hey, yo. I don't know which Ryan that is. Welcome in, Ryan. I don't know if it's, you're welcome, Bear. Yeah, just tackle it head on. Anything in life, that you have any problems with anything like that. Oh, what's up, Ryan? It's Ryan Schmidt. And it doesn't give it. It's weird. I don't live stream enough on YouTube, and I need to at least once a week. Um, yeah, so yeah, Patty boy, I had a brother, Joey and Eric. I had the two. My brother was Scotty. Anything in life is good. Freezing out here. It's supposed to be in the teens. I'm right outside of Philly right now. You're supposed to be in the teens this weekend. Oh yes. Is that all mine? Mm-hmm. Yes. Hope you just made dinner. So there's she got one of those fresh boxes and made it. It's like a tomato soup with a grilled cheese. It's slamming. I'll probably be eating it while I'm talking to you guys. So I'm probably planning on staying on for like an hour. And I'm hungry. That's right there. It's cold out here, everything. What else do I want to talk about? I don't know what to talk about. One of the things, self-governing, right? So, I haven't been to the gym in a few, weeks, right? And that's on me. And I missed the gym, have I noticed that, I don't have a swole on? Yeah, absolutely. My physique is lacking because of it. But the thing I miss the most is the actual ritual of working on myself. And that's the part that, I don't, do I like having, a nice physique? Do I like being in shape? And do I like being able to, skateboard, ride a bike at 50 years old, jump down a flight of stairs? I still can move around like I'm in my early 20s. I can play sports with young kids. Do I love that idea? I love that. Yeah, but that's the result. I love the actual act of self-sacrifice, of sacrificing my time, of putting an investment into something that I'm only gonna see it on a long term. I'm not gonna see it on any kind of a short-term return, like a short-term gain. Like when you first start down the path of exercise, or you start down the path to trying to improve your finances or improve your life in any way, right? You're gonna come to these points, like you said, the obstacles, right? So when I first started going back to the gym, right, I had just coming off the accident and I was in rehab, right? And I had a lot of pain in my back. I had a lot of pain in my leg. I couldn't walk very well, right? Did I try to run right out of the gate? No, not at all. I did yoga. I did, I lifted lightweight. And then, I started getting deeper and deeper into it. But what is that saying? The trip of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, right? So if you don't start towards any kind of goal or any kind of a obstacle, or if you don't start towards that, you're gonna just keep avoiding it. And avoidance is addictive. Avoiding a situation, avoiding that talk, avoiding that come to reality, a realization moment for yourself. People like to avoid that, and it can be intoxicating because everything's fine, nothing is wrong in my world, everything is great. And unfortunately, that's not how life is. Life isn't always just great. Life isn't always just roses and smelling the flowers and all that stuff. It's hot in here. The oven is on. The heat is blaring because it's freezing out. Excuse me. I really don't usually don't like eating on live streams, but I'm hungry. Oh, wow, look at this. Tomato soup and then a nice grilled cheese, and they use Sargento cheddar. They send you everything. Those meals in a box are really good. They're not they're inexpensive. I mean, 10 meals is $130 or something. And it comes with all the ingredients, and it comes with Comes with like ingredient list, and it comes with the a recipe card, and it just tells you exactly how to make it, and you get like these really good homemade meals for cheap, for not too expensive, but they're really quick. And Hope swears by them. She loves them. I'm a chef. I don't care. I can cook with anything. Well, let's try this grilled cheese. I'll tell you how it is. Yeah, that's fucking good. Yeah, that's good. They gave her like an herb butter to put on it. That's on the outside of the bread. So the bread is like a garlicky, it's like a garlicky, almost like Texas toast texture. And but it's thinner. It's not as thick as Texas toast, but it's the same, almost the same texture, light and fluffy. Yeah, it's really good. Really, really good. Let's see what the tomato soup's like. Now I'm curious. All right. Well, consistency's great. Hot. That's really good. Nice and creamy. Patty boy, you are 100% right. There is no Bible. There is a library of stories. So first off, let's speak of what a Bible is, right? Bible is the Latin word biblioteca, short for the Latin word biblioteca, which means library. So that's what the whole Bible means. It's a library of stories. That's why it's the book of Matthew, book of Joseph, book of David, right? No, there is no book equivalent to that of Norse paganism. Why? Because the name Norse paganism, the name Asatru, the name foreign seed, the only word that was used at the time when the actual living, breathing, spiritual practice was used on a grand scale, there was no name. It was just their culture. It just was. It wasn't that, oh, I'm practicing, because they didn't have different, no one was saying this is the one true way, because no one took the spirituality and, unlike Abrahamic religions, tried to organize it as a way of consolidating power, because that's what the spread of Christianity throughout Europe was. It was a consolidation of power, right? And so nobody ever put all these books together. Now, in preservation of language, right, a poet and an author and a politician and a lawyer named Snorri Sturluson wrote the Prose Edda, right? And about 50 years later, he wrote the Prose Edda not to preserve the stories, not to preserve, it's basically a college level 101 textbook on skaldic poetry. This is the skaldic poetry. This is what we were known for doing in this area, and this is how we preserved our history and preserved, this is how we preserved our culture. This is how we preserve our history. This is how we tell our stories of morality. This is how we entertain the tribe. He wanted to preserve that tradition. Of course, the majority of skaldic poetry is about the gods, but it's also about other men, because it was always a story of epic proportions, right? So that's why, Sigurd the Dragon Slayer, that's why you have all these other stories of all these different, the sagas of the Vinlanders, of different men, epic men, right? Ragnar Lothbrok. So they were told the Prose Edda was to preserve the poetry. About 50 years later, people came along and said, well, we want to preserve the stories of the gods. So let's write all the stories of any poem that anybody knows. So that's why the Poetic Edda is just like an amalgam of different skaldic poets and their like favorite poem, right? Now, a lot of these poems, so now, okay, the Prose Edda, the Poetic Edda are put together. The Codex Regius is born, but it's nobody knows of the Codex Regius because they were both put together in this book, right? And it was the prose, Snorri's prose, and then it was the Poetic Edda renewed in this book. And this book disappears for like 300 years in history. It's written in like the 13th century. We don't see it again until like the 16th century when it's sent to a bishop in Denmark. And then it gets the name Codex Regius, royal book. And that is wherein the preservation of the stories of the gods are. So when people say that, oh, Snorri was a Christian scholar, no, he wasn't a Christian scholar. Was he a Christian? Yes, he was baptized as a young child at like 10 years old by adopted parents. So some people say that it was kind of a political forced conversion, which is what happened all the time then. It wasn't a big deal. Same way like I was baptized as a child. No one asked me if I wanted to be baptized. I was baptized. Snorri was around 10 when it was done to him, and he was living with a Christian family. So he wanted to preserve the poetry. He was a linguist. He was a scholar. He was a lawyer. Some people say that his election into the outing was done by the Knights Templar in exchange for hiding the stories of the Prose Edda, hiding that in history, and with the Knights Templar, and to give them the route to the New World through the sagas of the Finlanders. And that's why, like, northern Newfoundland, where, like, that area, there's the Mi'kmaq Nation, which is right across the bay from, the Mi'kmaq Nation is right across the bay from Leonks Meadows. And the Mi'kmaq Nation, the First Peoples, their flag, their communal flag, is that of a Knights Templar battle flag. So there's this historic folklore myth legend that it was a deal between the Knights Templar for the New World, because we know that the Knights Templar were essential in bringing Columbus's, to discover the New World. That's why Columbus sailed under Templar flags. Like his sails on the Nina Pinta and the Santa Maria were Templar, right? So they already knew about this land, right? Now they're evolved into other societies, different more secret societies. Now that's why North America and countries the way it is right now. So like we have the Codex Regius. Then we have there's 5 major sources that we use to reconstruct it. We have Ibn Fodlan's Into the Far North, the tale of the Muslim traveler who spent time with the Rus Vikings. The movie The 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas is based off of that story. We have the Codex Regius. We have, what's his name? From Denmark, right around the same time as Snorri. Gastrodonorium. The Gastrodonorium. What's his name? Oh, God. I don't even like the Gastrodonorium. Yes, we also have the historical records of kings. We have Icelandic parliamentary record, is where we check a lot of things, so a lot of sources are coincided in there. Folk tradition in Scandinavia is still a lot of the way that the old ways were practiced, through that synchronicity of Christianity and the old ways to blend. So a lot of like the folklore practice or folk or witchcraft practice in Scandinavia is the original Norse paganism. Believe it or not, a lot of the Appalachian folk practice is very similar to it. And so is some Native American concepts. Not Snorri, what the hell is his name with the Gastrodonorium? I can't believe I can't remember his name right now. For the life of me, it's escaping my brain completely. Saxo Grammaticus. Iceland and Greenland, yeah. So we, the Icelandic sagas, though, some of the older sagas are more Christian propaganda. So like the sagas of the Vinlanders, that is kind of Christian propaganda, because that was showing the expansions of Christianity. Because in the saga of the Vinlanders, Leif Erikson is the first person to forcefully convert Skraelings. So he baptized in the Atlantic Ocean. He baptized 32 natives, and by sword. And they say that's the only battle that Leif Erikson ever fought. Like, he was completely unbattle tested. But we have what we call Swiss cheese, right? So it's a Swiss cheese theory of spirituality, right? There are things that we don't understand completely that they did. Some things are being shown light on, And the biggest problem is 1 minute we'll think we know one way, and then history evolves and something goes the other way. So one of the biggest sources that they're using right now in burial practices, it's actually changing what we thought about burial practices back then, is in Sweden, right off one of the motorways, like the M18 motorway. They just found an archaeological site, and they found like strata. They found like different layers of a crematory pit. So strata is in the archaeological fields the layers of dirt and earth, right? And that's how they can tell something's from a certain time period, right? By dating things in that strata. So this archaeological site is a burial and cremation site, and it has different layers of strata with different artifacts. So meaning that for generations and generations, they burned people there, and they did funerary and pyrary services there. So they're learning a lot about burial services. Before that, what we knew was basically what we knew from Into the Far North, from Ibn Fodlan's witnessing of the burial ritual of the father of the Viking chief. Right, 13th warrior, Ibn Fodlan. But no, there's a long, up in Sweden now. I forgot the name of the site. I have a video on it in my drafts that like I was editing. I also got to catch up my YouTube shorts to my TikTok page, because like I'm like 4 videos ahead on TikTok than I am on YouTube, and I was doing an experiment for a minute, and it doesn't really. The experiment didn't come out. It came out the way I thought it would. It's not affecting my views. All right. I'm starving. There's a lot of food right here. I've been live for like 45. I'm going about 40 minutes, 37 minutes now. So I'm going to jump off this live stream. I'm going to start making sure that I live stream on YouTube at least once a week on Mondays, around 6, 7 o'clock East Coast. I don't want. What ends up happening with me is I lock in a time, and then I miss that time, or I'm late on that time, and I'm like, oh, forget it now. So like I gotta try to learn to be more flexible with my own deadlines that I put in my and own schedules that I put in my brain. But one last one, sure, Patty. What? I'm excited that there's another Bronx Heathen here. So any questions you have, I'm an open book to you, my man. The best book you can order from Amazon tonight, right here. That's the best book you like. You could have. I feel like I could have. No. That's not what I want to do. No. I could have paid you to put that advertisement for me at the end of that live stream, bro. So this is my book. So the Havamal. Let's break down what the Havamal is before I jump off this. The Havamal, the word Havamal means the words of the High One, right? Hava, high, mal is words of, songs of, right? So it's the words or songs of Odin. It is Odin's life advice to humanity. It's written in poetic and skaldic poetic form. When you read the translations, they translate word for word. They don't translate concept. They don't translate. So Old Norse, like, one word can have like 10 different meanings. It's the context. It's like there, and there. What context is it in, right? And they didn't have a differential for spelling because they didn't have written language like that. They didn't have a phonetic written language. They had the rune, they had the runes, which was phonetic, but they weren't writing that constantly. Maxine and Matt. So when they translate the words, it doesn't translate the emotion of the poetry and the essence of the poetry. So I have read so many translations of the Havamal, and I own a few. I wrote my own poetic translations, and I wrote different poems for each stanza. So that's the best book you can buy on Amazon today. Everybody, thank you. Have a great night. I hopefully see you guys. I see everybody next week. I will, yeah. I definitely got to get on lives a lot more often. All right, let me get, no, that's not, let me go, oh, that's a copy. How do I get off? Oh, X. All right.